Racer family, qualifying is done for the 27th edition of Motul Petit Le Mans. I got yelled at by Grosjean yesterday for mispronouncing petit. So, anyways.
There's no E at the end, yeah.
I know.
Petit Le Mans.
Hey, this is Sébastien Bourdais. He's my French fry. This is going to be our last Hamburger and French Fry show for, we don't know when, a little while. But anyways, qualifying, Cadillac on pole overall. Your stablemates, Action Express Racing, Whelen Engineering, Jack Aiken, super quick. You were telling me before we started recording, Seb, that you had designs on being P1. You were having a car that was moving a little more than you had hoped. P4, right? So second row, still great start for this 10-hour race on Saturday, but tell folks about going out with plans to attack, be on pole. You have to learn what the car's telling you, what it's capable of, and then manage and deal with that. And P4, not what you wanted, but as good as it could have been.
Probably not. I mean, I think I if I had put all my stuff together, it probably would have been quite a bit quicker than that, but probably not to get Jack anyways. So hats off to him. Qualifying has become a lot harder lately because we don't have that 15 minutes of just the pro cars or whatever. So we don't really get, especially when you have 54 cars on the track, you don't really get a proper rehearsal in qualifying. So you do kind of like go blind a bit on balance, and I wasn't expecting the car to be that free, and I just didn't do a good job with it. So it is what it is. We've had some really good ones that just wasn't one of them, and thankfully it's a 10-hour race, so it's probably not the worst place to not have your best showing in qualifying for a race. But always a little disappointed, especially since it was my last one was Chip Ganassi Racing in that program in the 01. So. We've had plenty of poles with those guys, and it would have been great to finish on a high, but not to be. Hopefully we'll finish on a high winning a race.
Saturday is the one that matters. And just for the average human being, can you imagine Cadillac V-Series.R hybrid GTP, Road Atlanta, almost 700 horsepower, and the thing is wanting to oversteer on you? It sounds like fun, great in a sim or iRacing, but in real world, I don't know if I heard the engine or you screaming in the car more, but that has to be a wild thing to try and manage, Seb. Most human beings will never have the talent to do that, but what is that just like with this vehicle that's doing things? You're like, I'm going a million miles an hour and it's trying to...
Yeah, it was mostly on entry, so it's just difficult. I just don't like loose cars on entry. It's just the way I drive, and I've never been good at that. I mean, power down was actually not too bad, but it's on me. It's fine. We'll just get our stuff together tomorrow.
I was trying to soften things, but this guy takes full blame. Okay, it's all his fault. Sorry, Chip. But hey, LMP2, Ben Keating on pole, United Autosports. I mean, the ageless Ben Keating, rather amazing there. GTD Pro.
Super tight too.
Oh, crazy.
Like the top 4 in like a tenth or something.
Of the millionth of a second. Lauren Heinrich on pole in Rexy, the AO Racing team, everyone's favorite Jurassic era Porsche. And then in GTD, I love this story. Scott Andrews, Lone Star Racing team, smaller team. They just competed, last week in Indianapolis with your Ganassi stablemate Alex Palou in the car. But smaller team, super capable AMG Mercedes team on pole there. So a lot of fun here coming for 10 hours here, Saturday night. Saturday, it's going to be a jamboree. But tell folks, Seb, what do you do tonight? You've learned about the car yesterday. You had night practice. You now know what it's like in qualifying. You're not going to go use a qualifying setup for 10 hours, but is there any takeaways from this session to give to your engineers to tune the car for tomorrow? Is it all simulation work done overnight? What's the process from here until green flag?
I think, obviously you get to run in very heavy traffic for most of the practices. So we've done that, did the balance check that we were hoping for, did some long runs. The fact that you spend so much time in traffic, the duty cycle on the tire is quite different from if you go testing on a clear track. So it does things to the balance that you have to adjust to. So I think we have the experience from last year and from all the heavy traffic running that we've done to this point. So I think we're in pretty good shape. We hopefully know what we're doing and where we're heading. But it's a bit of a survival game when it gets hot and sunny like it's going to be, and it's been all weekend during the day. You have to double stint a little bit the tires because you don't quite have enough. So unless there's a ton of yellows that really are lengthy and help you out on tire situations, you do have to double stint tires at the beginning to kind of be free and clear towards the end. So it is kind of a little sketch because double stinting in those conditions is not easy. Tire wear is quite high, there's quite a bit of sliding around. So there's kind of a bit of a wait and see game at the beginning, and then as you try and position yourself into a winning scenario, then there's no more managing towards the end. So whoever ends up feeling the best and where the car is at and whatever, that's kind of what dictates who finishes. But it's quite a tactical race, starting at noon, doing quite a bit of running, obviously in the heat of the day when it's sunny, high track temps, and then cooling off massively because we're expecting fairly cool temperatures towards the end. Like it's been pretty consistent, like going in the 50s at night. So you'll be in the low 60s towards the end of the race, which all of a sudden changes quite a few things.
Wow.
Tire temps and distribution front to rear. So we'll see how it goes, but definitely 54 cars on a very tiny track, a fast one and a challenging one with a lot of left, right, corners that just lead to one to another. So it's definitely a lot of class interactions in a very close quarter, which makes it that you end up with, how many yellows did we have last year?
943.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you definitely got quite a few challenges and incidents to try and dodge, and obviously whoever manages a clean race has a car intact at the end and a good weapon to put on strong laps at the end when you have hopefully track position.
Yeah.
Will be looking really strong.
He mentioned 60s, talking about weather. Also, that number 60s applies to a friend of ours. He's kind of a deplorable human being. Started hearing within the last week that Westy, Richard Westbrook, again, just a terrible human being, but nonetheless, we've allowed him to be around us. Retiring. Petit Le Mans will be his final professional race. Was texting with Westy yesterday. He was lying to me, which was awesome. I'm like, come on, man. And anyways, it's confirmed indeed. He is retiring, moving on to other things. 60-something years old, maybe 70, I don't know. But congratulations on an amazing career. Terrible person, but a good race. Kidding aside, love Westy. You know when you walk up to somebody in the paddock and before you can say something hostile to them, they call you the worst possible name. It's an excellent person. That's Richard Westbrook. What do you remember about this crazy guy who was within your General Ford GT program not so many years ago?
Yeah, fought his way through the ranks, right? Came through the Porsche program and came in really strong in the pro world, and had a big reveal obviously when he started to really shine in the DP class.
Yeah.
And heck of a race car driver, a cool dude, and Bill
Hilarious.
Lover, who's gonna transition to that side of the business, which was a hobby and turning into a real proper business plan. So all the best to you, brother, and we'll miss you on the racetrack for sure.
Racing to nearly 70 years old, that is a heck of an accomplishment first and foremost. So I love that. All right. I don't know when we get to do one of these again, but
it's 2024. Always comes to an end in.
But
so
you better make sure that you're at Daytona in something. Okay.
Do my
commitment.
Best. I'm not retiring.
No, he isn't. He just committed though. He'll be at Daytona. So hopefully we can do another one of these very soon. Thanks y'all for tuning in this season here on Racer and Racer.com on our YouTube channel. One of my bestest pals here.
My hamburger.
Yes, my French fry.
See you next year.
Soon.